This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Deadlands RPG. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is Chains of Hatred. It was written by Alex Sun, who is also our game marshal. The system we are using is Deadlands, which is part of the Savage Worlds role-playing game, and this is episode 5. Our recap will be given by David Gasaway as his character, Eustace Barnett. So, without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. David?
Thank you, Thom. What in hell's a myrmidon? I hope I never find out to tell the truth. My fellow inmates, them that survived, have escaped to the desert, more or less, and I remain in the company of the remainder of Mama's gang and our fellows in chains. The one-eyed feller not only killed Dr. Hope and escaped his burning house, but he took my gunshot wound off of me and even grew Jones's fingers back. There's something else living in that man. The Italian and his Chinese compadre somehow fought a three-headed hellhound to the death, and I thought all hell had broke loose, until all hell broke loose. Something came roaring out of the deepest mine, and it loomed hugely inside a tornado of stinging blood, and it had too many limbs, and it thrashed and whipped and destroyed anything that failed to get out in its way. So I got out in its way, just as fast as I was able. I figured the thing would follow us into the wilds and pick us off one by one, but it receded from the rising sun. What remains unfaded, what I couldn't sear off with a fiery brand, is the mark of that thing on all our flesh. Mama's gang includes a few other oddballs in addition to the card-haunted feller and the loudmouth, a couple of tough-looking brothers and a runt and a cook what can't hear. They already lost their horses and their leader and all their money, so I guess we're free men for now.
Thank you for the recap. You can earn yourself a Benny for that one. Last we left off, we were at the gang's camp, which is basically a wagon and a bunch of tents set up around that. You have changed clothes, cleaned up, and just slept because you had such a gruesome night of escaping. So at this point, you'll basically awake in the afternoon. I did mention that the town nearby was called Stillwater. We're going to scratch that. It's called Wagon Stop. Now, as soon as you wake, the chef's cook wakes you up with the aroma of stewed meat. That's woken you up, and the chef's his name's Buddy. He's one of the gang members. And he's a larger man, got that apron on that's stained with many animal fluids, and we'll leave off there. So what's everyone doing? What's everyone's plan?
It said something about going into town, but now I can't remember why.
Well, Mama did say that we're out of horses, we have no money, and we'll basically need these things to travel
Well, you know my specialty.
and
I'm a
survive.
I'm a safecracker. I'm not a good robber, but I suppose we don't want to rob the nearest town. That's probably not a good idea.
I
Are
mean,
any
we'll
of
have to
you
make do, she says. Like, whatever you can think of. You want to hold up a wagon? You want to rob a house? You want to do? We just need money. We need money for horses, or we can steal the horses. But I want what's best for this gang.
I know just the man I'd like to take that money off. That damn sheriff put us in that damn ranch. We owe that sheriff a pound of flesh.
That's a very good point.
I think Eustace also mentioned maybe going back to the Hell camp and taking what we need from them.
We could also try gambling.
Well, there's that. Where's a good place to gamble around here, though?
The saloon.
You could go to Wagon Stop and check out what kind of buildings that they offer.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
can do that. I feel pretty lucky.
Oh, you have ever since you took them cards out of that dead man's hand.
Yeah. Picking up those cards was the best day of my life.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to finding out what mine is. I ain't seen it yet, I'm sure. Yeah, I was eager to go back to the hellhole and see what we could save from the liquor, but it's true that we ain't seen the foreman during all the fighting. He seemed to make himself scarce. I sure would hate to walk back in there in bright daylight and get picked off by the son of a bitch. Whereas
you could
the
go
sheriff,
back to Hunting Rock.
the sheriff who done got paid for our bodies and souls in the first place, he's certainly deserves a comeuppance. Is he based in Wagon Stop, or is he somewhere else?
You'd probably have to find that information out in town
Ain't far.
or scout.
Sheriff's a local job.
Well, let me
There
ask
being
a quick
records left
question.
in-
I'll take a common knowledge roll, actually.
I was going to ask a question of the GM. Since we were arrested by
Yep.
that sheriff, where were we arrested? Isn't that he going to be the sheriff of there?
Yeah, so I'll wait for the result of the. You were you 5, okay. So with a 5 of common knowledge, he might have territory, jurisdiction over this like county area. So he probably wouldn't be based in a town, but in a military fort.
Yeah,
Either
that's desirable as
south
a
or east
target
of
for
here.
sure. We're generally trying to move south, I think, because that's our educated members' best idea about how to get rid of these here marks.
You'll definitely have to manage your, I guess, heat, because if you don't, you might meet him again.
Yeah. On the other hand, I assume since he sold us body and soul to that Hope feller, we're probably all marked as dead somewhere. I doubt any one of us has a record, nor any ID at all. Still, he's the one who knows where we ought to be.
Right. And
Hell,
yes,
I ain't even had my coffee yet, and I think clearer than you, Eustace. Why don't we draw him to us? We don't have to go raid no damn encampment.
yeah.
All we gotta do is draw him out. We commit some crime in some damn town. He's sure to come on a response.
Yeah,
And
but
we got an
Jerry,
ambush waiting for him.
what Eustace is telling us is that they might think we're all dead. And as long as we're dead, we're kind of safe. But if you go shooting something up to get him to come here, they'll know we're not dead.
Well, there's a flaw to all of this, and I'll let that common sense, the common knowledge ride. If 3, 4, 5 other chain gangs also got out, you might have a limited amount of time.
That's true.
Not dead,
Who
it's still
knows
broke.
what they're doing.
They'll bring out a posse to look for everybody.
Wouldn't it be
We
the
could
local
have a trap
marshal?
waiting.
Marshal, but he might get other marshals from other territories if he thinks we're dangerous. And they think that we're pretty dangerous if they sent us there.
Oh,
so
we
it's
just
gonna
need
disguise.
1 or 2 people to go commit a crime. The rest of us, we just hide out and wait.
We also need more food for the camp, Buddy says.
Maybe you ought to have that coffee now, Jeremiah, and show us how real smart you get.
Hell, buddy, you got some coffee? I can't eat no horse meat stew without no coffee.
Sure. And he shakes a little can of coffee and starts to brew that up.
Didn't last time you guys went against the sheriff, you got arrested? Your gang leader got killed?
Yeah, that heist wasn't pretty.
So you want to go for round two? Doesn't seem like the best idea to me.
Yeah.
It's not really round two. We succeeded before.
And we're low on supplies, Buddy says. He says, we don't got a lot of ammo, don't got a lot of guns. We had to leave behind a lot of supplies after that botched heist. Whatever you
y'all.
can do.
You're either
gonna
going to be part of the gang or you ain't, Bongiorno. Make a decision.
I'm
So-
chilling.
How many?
Food ain't free, Buddy says.
True
It ain't
enough.
even cold. What you mean?
How many miles a day can you make pulling this here wagon by human strength?
Human strength? Well, we'd obviously have to pack everything up. That'd be inconvenient. We're in a pretty hidden spot, I'd say. But pushing a wagon, maybe what, 10, 15 miles?
That in itself seems like an exhausting task and one that would draw the attention of anybody we passed by
If
and
we had
their
horses,
mocking
that'd be a
laughter.
different story.
Yeah.
Maybe that sheriff himself got a personal ranch with horses. We could rustle some up.
You were certainly eager to get into another confrontation.
Goddamn
We gotta
right.
do something about to
I
protect
just spent
our
a
way
week
of
in
life.
I spent a week in that hellhole result of that sheriff.
You don't count
Well, I
days
think that
very good.
if you don't mind me saying so, I think that our best bet is checking out this town, this wagon stop, and seeing what we can take advantage of. We can't do it right away, but we can do it soon enough. We just got to know before we act. Go in there nice and friendly, and then see what happens. And then we can take advantage. Maybe rob their bank.
Now, it seems like since you and Jeremiah had some clean clothes to change into, you're less likely to draw unfriendly attention in an unfamiliar locale. Whereas since I was given these dead men's rags in the first place, and then I got and bled all over this one when I got shot, I don't look very respectable.
I'm always
well-
friendly. Hell, I ought to have been a damn diplomat.
So Mama, she hears that, right? She says, well, hold on, Eustace, I might have something for you. I mean, it might belong to a dead man, but can't complain during these trying times.
No, it ain't the first time I wear dead man's clothes. I just didn't get to pick these ones out.
Okay, and she starts to search through like a trunk. And this is what used to be the gang leader stuff, James Sanford. And
Probably might nicer then.
find something nice for you. Here, why don't you try this vest on with this shirt? And she kind of dusts it off and hands it over to you.
If only I'd prepared. Where's Stu when you need him? He'd have had another vest right there.
You'd have a shovel too.
Do we have any horses at all?
No.
Look,
No, I think horses are the first order of business because we can't make any speed at all pulling a wagon by hand.
how far away is this wagon stop?
It's about a 30-minute walk.
30-minute walk. It's going to look awfully strange. You know, it's probably not a very big place. It's going to look awfully strange. Some guy walking in off the desert.
I would say
Not
it's
on a
probably
horse.
got a population of 500.
Yeah, that's a fairly good amount. God, if I could find a horse, just drive right into town. I probably look
Could
the
just shoot
least
someone off the
suspicious
road.
because I've never shot anyone. But I'm not exactly tactical. So I could check it out and then just come back.
Okay, what's everyone else gonna do?
Are there any ranches
you.
around?
You'd have to walk around and see. Someone could spend the time scouting out the area.
If we're going
Well,
to
I'll
pick off
tell you
people,
what. I'll walk in that direction and see if I see a ranch, see a fence or something. Uh, y'all can go in any direction you want, but we got to have a horse.
I'm coming with you, Joe. You got a plan.
Oh,
Okay, so you're with Joe. Okay. Yeah. We got the Joe and Jeremiah show scouting out the
and we try to
place.
pick a direction that looks like it. We can see the mountains and the hills and stuff.
Sure.
What would be a good area if you were going to build a ranch? That's a good area. We wouldn't
Absolutely.
go.
Yeah, I'll give you all that information once you
Yeah.
start once I get to you. But I need to know what Bongiorno, Ambrose, and Eustace are doing.
Yeah, I figure we're gonna attract attention going to town as I said before.
I mean, you can
Whereas,
go in the opposite direction and if you still want to do town stuff. I'm not gonna stop you
yeah,
there.
no, these there's always these ranch widows who have a lot of acreage and stay in the big house and have just a couple of hands keeping an eye on things, and they're spread thin. Liberating a piece of horse flesh from there shouldn't be the hardest thing in the world. We just don't have a likely target as yet. But I'm don't mind walking between the midday shadows where I can find them, having a look see.
So you're scouting out.
Yeah, not taking major uh, evident pathways.
Okay. Sounds great. So you're scouting out the nearby area. Meanwhile, Joe and Jeremiah, you're heading directly into Wagon Stop. What about you, Bongiorno?
Buongiorno isn't really smart enough to think of something to do, but
You're welcome to train with the Chinese master.
yeah, I don't know. What is Ambrose doing?
I'm thinking of scouting off, trying to find somewhere on the outskirts, almost doing like a loop around the town and seeing what's immediately outside it rather than going in it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go with you then.
So sounds like Bongiorno, Eustace, and Ambrose are all scouting out the area around. Okay, great. Wonderful. So let's get started. Let's start off with the J&J show, where as you're walking across you find a well-worn path that's heading directly into town. And there's a few things that you do spot out as you're approaching town. There is a ranch. There's that picket fence that indicates a ranch. There's a few grazing cattle. And right when you get to that front gate, it's fairly sizable. It says Callahan Ranch. You
What was
keep
the name of the
going.
sheriff again?
The name of the sheriff, well, the name of the territorial ranger captain was Silas Longsaddle. And with a notice roll, I'll take that.
Double ones.
Okay.
I got a 7 and I got a 6 on my wild card.
Okay. So that explodes because it's
And then I got a 2. So
all right,
6
so
and
an
a 2.
8. That's a raise. Far off to the south, on a hill, you do see a military fort. And you do spot on one of these crossroads, it does say Fort Sunrise, Territorial Ranger Fort.
Sunrise.
Right.
We see them, they probably see us too.
I'd say it's way too far away, but like that's off in the distance to the south. And you keep making your way to Wagon Stop. I'm gonna
Okay.
hop over. Oh, go ahead.
Quick question again. What was the ranch name? Carlisle or
Callahan Ranch.
Callahan?
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes. And just as like you see the town in the distance you're approaching, we're gonna swap over to Bongiorno, Ambrose, and Eustace. Are you all sticking together or are you all separating yourselves?
I think we'll head out together and then see where things take us.
Okay, great. So you're gonna stay on the outskirts of this area. And if you're in the outskirts of this area, you're not going with Jeremiah and Joe, so you would see the fort in the distance. However, and to the north, far off, you would see Hunting Rock, that little basin cave area. There's like no sign of life there. There's like no smoke or anything coming out. I would say that you do also spot a roadside wagon, one of those that are decorated with fancy rugs.
I hear
And
they really
there
bring
is
the
a
room
wood
together.
sign that says occultists.
Is there a fat?
Fortunes told.
Is it like Madame Ublatsky or Russo
This
and
is
Sons or
this is for Oleander Wright. Occultism and fortune.
the funny thing about those involved in the confidence industry is that they often have to put something out to draw the sucker in. Sometimes all you need is a free handout and then you get on your way. Provided me a little bit of patent medicine in the past and whatnot.
Yep. There is a donkey grazing near this wagon.
Yeah, perhaps we could give him a palm reading if you know what I mean.
Well, the heavies already went off into town. I mean, you did kill a hellhound, but
I did have
uh,
another brainwave while I was thinking about things. As was pointed out, we weren't the only ones to get out of there, and there were a whole bunch of other hardened criminals that fled that place. They're almost certainly going to be thinking about doing something similar to us, i.e., taking what resources they can and then fleeing the area. Um, I imagine that some of these folks aren't going to be too discriminatory as to who they put in the ground or not in the process of doing that. I would feel significantly less ethically challenged if we were to take horses from someone that they'd already put a bullet in the back of their head, for example. So it might be if we keep an eye out for tracks of those that did flee the area, see where they went, and if there's any pickings that we can take from whatever hell they've caused, that
Take from the
might be a bit easier.
takers. No moral quandaries there if you steal from what we already stolen from. Great.
Yeah.
Love that. I'll reward you a Benny for that line of thinking because you're
Ooh.
trying to keep your hands clean in such a dirty world.
Yeah, I will keep my eyes out for people tracks of having people run away from that hellhole.
Okay, you can definitely give me a notice roll then, or if there is a survival or tracking roll, you're welcome to roll those.
I'll be falling back on notice.
Very well.
Yeah. 5 is my highest.
Okay, if that's the case, then yeah, maybe you're looking towards Hunting Rock and you're trying to discern if there were any crowds that were close to one another. And I would say with the success, yeah, there's definitely signs like maybe like a bottle here or there going off into the shrublands up the hill. And just looking at it, it's like, that'd be a pretty great spot to set up camp for the night or a temporary camp while people were getting back on their feet. So you have a potential location for another chain gang.
Yeah, I'll point it out to the other two and suggest we want to wander over and see what shit they've caused so far.
I kind of want to check out this occultist first.
Have you got any money to give them?
No, but
I think they will see your immediate future as being you'll be going away, getting more money, and going back to them.
yeah, maybe we should go to the chain gang first, then get some money, and then get our fortunes told.
Yeah, you're all broke. So what are you doing?
So we see Oleander Wright's wagon and we see his donkey grazing, but we don't see Mr. Wright.
Yes, that's correct. Um,
It,
if you're going to watch for a while, maybe you see the wagon shift weight a little. There's movement inside.
yeah, I mean, if Mr. Wright is sleeping in after a heavy night of consuming patent medicine, it might be easy to make off with his donkey, and that's a start. Of course, an ass who
That's
don't know you don't always move real fast or willing. On the other hand, I picked up a nice looking rifle in the prison and dropped it because there was a six-armed thing screaming about myrmidons and flaying people to death. So it didn't feel rightly like being encumbered. And I think that Joe and Jeremiah are the only gentlemen among us armed. So were we to come across a den of other escapees, they might well have the upper hand upon us.
On Ambrose can call in the power of Satan to like empower himself.
ooh, I feel like the spirits won't like that. And there's like a rush of whispering and filling your head, Ambrose.
You need to learn your religion, boy. That is not anything along those lines whatsoever.
All I'm saying is you ain't Catholic.
Just have a read up of where voodoo comes from, and then get back to me with a statement like that.
Oh, and Journo, you read books at all?
Nope.
Pamphlets? On the
Nope.
pages?
Nope.
Yeah. Right then. Gentlemen, we are at an impasse. And that horse stew is not settling very well under the hot sun.
All right. Well, if people are interested in the fortune teller, do you want to wander over there and at least make chat with the guy? Hell, if you get on his good side, he may even give you a reading for free if he's a decent kind of guy. And also, then it gives time for if there is a whole bunch of people that have been camped out over there, they may have buggered off by the time that we finish with the fortune teller. Then we have people to follow rather than stumbling in on where they're still sleeping.
Great. That sounds fair. Do people agree with that or?
Yeah, let's give it a try. I've been known to tell a tale or two myself, so I might be able to make friendly with the feller.
Hmm. Wonderful. So as you start to approach the strange wagon, which smells of different herbs and smokes, we will jump to the Jeremiah and Joe show. As you step foot into Wagon Stop, a population of 500 people. There's a church, there's the Wagon Stop Saloon, as well as the Bank of Wagon Stop. There's also a place where you can purchase horses, as well as a gunsmithy, hotel. All the amenities are there. There's a fair amount of people just out in the street, so very easy for you to blend in and walk.
Does the bank look busy?
Yeah, I would say so. And on the wall of the bank, it says, "Proud owner is Cornelius Mays the Third."
Cornelius.
Please.
Anybody with a name like Cornelius is going to be a pushover.
Well,
Just scoping it out, there's already like
yeah.
a guard in front of the bank with a lever action rifle.
How many
There's
guards?
One that you can see outside the bank.
yeah, there's a fair, it's not a bad little town. Uh let's go check out the saloon. Now, Jeremiah, you gotta be nice. We don't want to call any attention. You understand?
I'm always nice, Joe. Discretion is
Yeah,
my middle name.
I don't want your attitude. I just want you to be discreet. We can shoot this place up later, but not yet, not until we've got reinforcements.
You have my solemn promise.
All right.
I'll hold you to it.
Great.
And head to the saloon.
All right. So you walk past a couple horses that are tied to the post, the hitching post. And then you swing open the doors. No one gives you a second look. You look like you belong. There is a red-haired bartender. He's polishing some glasses, serving up some stew from the back. There's a fair bit of people. Some people playing cards. There's someone on the piano, and there's some bar women who are chatting up the men.
We ain't got a dime to our name, though, do we? So can't get a
No.
drink, and we can't gamble. I mean,
I
I could.
sure could use me a drink of whiskey right now. Maybe we could start a tab.
Yeah, they don't know us.
Hell, what does that matter?
I don't think they've even invented credit.
Worst they can do is say no.
Well, if you'd like to spend a penny, you can have a couple of dollars you stashed away.
Yeah, okay, I'll spend a penny. I've got a couple of bucks.
Oh,
Okay, thanks.
Let me see if I can make some money here.
Oh, okay.
Gentlemen, do you
gonna-
mind if I join you?
Oh,
Yeah.
please
hell,
go right
he was
ahead.
holding out on me.
So, it's Texas Hold'em. And just to simplify here, we're just gonna make a gambling roll as you play some poker.
Fine.
We'll save
Gambling.
the hands for the actual magic here.
Okay, so on my sheet, it shows a six-sided dice, but then again, I'm a huckster and I'm a card sharp.
Okay.
So
I believe
the card sharp
lets
means
you re-roll a gambling roll.
if I fail.
If you'd like, just whenever. So even if you succeed, you get better.
Okay. So I roll the six and my wild six.
Yep. So what do you
And,
do, Jeremiah, while he's doing this? Watching him?
Yeah, I'm gonna
All right.
I'm gonna
You're getting kind of
solemnly
thirsty.
keep, I'm gonna keep quiet, y'all. Yeah, for now.
Okay.
Gonna talk to the hose.
No, I think they smell the broke
no.
on him.
No. I am being an angel right now. I'm not opening my mouth for anything.
Well, is your mouth still a disadvantage? Is that still something on your character sheet? Because I
I'm
think
sorry.
it is.
Is what again?
A hindrance. Is that still a hindrance on your character sheet?
Yeah.
Then you're gonna
Yeah.
give me a spirit roll
Okay.
to see if you can actually be an angel.
I'm
tried.
trying.
I did. I
Yeah.
tried.
So okay.
But she said my eyes are pretty.
I got a 3.
Oh, you failed!
Oh, no, wait. A 4. Sorry, a 4.
Oh,
'cause we added
okay.
them, right?
All right, we were one scene away from a bar fight.
Okay. So just
So
yeah,
I want you to know how close you were to pissing someone off.
I'm shifting back and forth on my feet. I'm like doing all these little twitchy things.
You
know,
really
but
want to call that man a jackass.
but I got my mouth like clamped shut.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that allows
So-
you to concentrate and gamble. So Joe, what did you get?
So I got a 4 on
Okay.
my regular dice and a 5 on my other dice.
Great, you win. You double your money.
Cool. So now I got $4, we'll say.
That's pretty good. That's a couple drinks for you and Jeremiah.
Sure. But I can keep going.
Okay, you can keep going.
I will, however, only bet $2 again.
Jeremiah, you're getting real real impatient here. I'd love another spirit roll if he's gonna keep just gambling. You're not in any of the action.
I didn't. I got a 3 on each dice.
Oh, I guess
Got a
you
5.
lost a
So
5.
I
Okay.
lost the $2.
So you lost the $2 you won, and
Re-roll
once
with your gambler.
oh, you can
Is
re-roll
that-
with your
Oh, that's
gambler.
right. I can re-roll. That's
You
right.
re-roll the
Let's
whole thing,
re-roll.
yeah.
Oh, and this time I got a 5 and a 3, so a 5. It's a
Great. So
pass.
you double that again. You have $6
I now
total.
have.
You had a fair bit of spending money, and at this point, people are grumbling. Jeremiah, you're barely holding it together.
All right, I'm going to turn and I'm going to look at Jeremiah and see him like the blood dribbling down here where he's biting his tongue. I'm going to hand him a buck. Go get yourself something to drink.
Okay.
You've been a
yeah.
good boy.
I'm gonna
How much
I'm
does
gonna
the
go to
horse cost? $150.
I'm gonna go to the bar and I'm gonna order a whiskey. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna just start talking to the bartender because
Okay.
I'm ready to rattle off to somebody. I'm just be like, my friend over there is gonna take on this whole bar. He's gonna double down on everybody all day long. Just watch.
Jeez. The bartender looks at you. Well, at least one of his eyes. He's got a glass eye, and he says, "Oh boy. Well, as long as your money's good, you can wet your whistle here." And then he just pours you up what they got on tap, and you drink it.
Yeah, of course I'm gonna
It
drink.
feels so good because
Yeah.
you've been in a prison camp and you've been transported all across Texas.
Oh, that is just as smooth as silk. Pour me another.
Yep. What's your name, stranger?
Jeremiah.
Mine's Sal. Sal Patrick, and he goes out for the handshake.
It's a pleasure, Sal. You just keep them coming, all right?
Okay.
I'm gonna watch my friend over there work.
All right, Joe. This is probably if you keep just sweeping, right? They might just up and leave. So
Okay.
we're coming almost to the end of this cash making venture.
It's a lot of, yeah. They know that I'm a good player. Oh, fuck. I got a 6 and a 5 on my wild. So 6. Do
So
I roll the
sometime
regular one again?
you roll it again, it explodes.
A 6 and a 3.
So ever since you
9.
got those cards in that mine, these cards they start to speak to you. They tell you all the answers.
Okay.
You're just getting a better sense at gambling, and you basically sweep the table. I'm gonna say that you earn a moderate amount of money towards the goal. All right, we're gonna abstract it a little.
We'll say 12 bucks.
Sure.
Okay. So I got 12 bucks.
And people are groaning and they throw their cards down. What's your
So I
name,
think
buddy?
my name is, oh, I don't want to give him my real name. My friends call me Clank.
Clank. Well, that's a weird one. Well, they call me Ben Callahan. I work over on the ranch down yonder.
Oh, what kind of ranch?
Oh, it's a cattle ranch.
Oh, cattle
Yeah.
ranch.
Yeah.
Um,
It's me and my brothers. There's been a lot of cattle rustlers recently. Just today. Caught 2 people trying to steal some horses.
oh my, I have been kind of looking for some work, but I'll tell
Work?
you honestly, I don't know a damn thing about cattle.
Oh, we'd be happy to take you on.
Well, let me think about it. You come here often?
Yeah, I'm here often. Otherwise, I'm on the ranch. You can just knock right on that door, and Dorothy will help you along.
Dorothy, that's your wife?
Yeah, that's my wife. We're a big family. We live on the ranch.
All right, I might see you. I might see you tomorrow or the next day.
Great, great meeting you, partner. And he gets out of the table and he leaves.
I shake his hand. Yeah.
Yeah, shakes his hand.
Uh,
You look him in the eyes. Are you going to rob this man later?
I don't know, maybe. Who knows? Cattle ranch is going to have lots of money.
Mhm.
Um, uh, Jerry, let's go. We got to buy some supplies.
Oh, just one more drink, Joe. Come on.
Well, you
Sal
got
pours
enough
you
there.
another.
Yeah. How much does a drink cost? 10 cents.
Yeah.
Pour one for my friend over there too.
Of course. And he pours you a drink.
Well, you stay here and you be a good boy, and I'm going to go and rustle us up some grub.
Oh, yeah, I'll stay here. No problem.
Remember, your promise still held. Your promise still holds.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to the general store.
Okay, sounds great. We'll get to that, but we're gonna hop back to outside of Oleander Wright's occultism and fortunes.
Now, this feller just sort of pulled off the track and
Yeah,
and did he is the mule still attached to the wagon, but he's
yeah, it's
cropping
tied to the
grass?
wagon.
It's tied to it, but it's not in the pulling position.
That's correct.
I just let it and weird herbs and spices it smells like.
Yeah,
Tobacco,
sure.
mesquite,
Maybe, yeah.
church, smell
Church?
like
No.
church.
No.
Ambrose, you recognize any of the sort of weird markings and the insignia painted on here?
Give me an occult roll.
Okay, that will be 7.
Okay. If it wasn't for like the obvious, oh, occultism and fortunes told, you'd basically write off this guy as being just like a some kind of snake oiler or just another person who wants your money. But like I would say that one of the rugs displays with like an occult marking of an eye. And that's actually pretty legitimate.
Hmm. Okay, I'll kind of look
Yeah, that is a
disparaging.
ward that will basically surveil the surrounding area.
Ah, okay. Hmm. I'll look disparagingly at it until I see that, and then go nod approvingly and go, yeah.
It,
Either the
it
guy
almost
knows.
winks at you.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Either this guy is well informed, or he's picked up something from someone who was once upon a time. But in either case, there's some glimmer of hope here, and I'll wink back.
Right?
And as we approach quietly on the dusty trail, do we hear any sounds from the back of the wagon?
Yeah, you hear someone burp.
Oh, it's his lunch break, or maybe his beer is his lunch or late breakfast.
So what are you
Well,
doing?
should we have a little parley with this individual or move along?
Can't hurt having a chat.
All right. I'll clear my throat and scuffle my shoes a little as I walk toward the wagon, and then give it two raps with my knuckles.
You hear just like a shifting of furniture inside, like someone's like, oh, right. Oh, coming. Come on in, come on in. You hear.
Oh, howdy. We're just wondering where you come from and where you're headed. You sure you want us to barge right in?
Oh, sure. How many are you? What, three?
Yeah, that's good hearing you got.
Thanks.
Mm. Afternoon,
Please
doctor.
sit. Then he looks at Von Journo, who's just like jacked, and he there's not much room, but allow me to serve some tea for you all. And he's
Oh,
a finely dressed man, very nice robes. I would say even a fez hat. Yeah, he's got the fez on for sure. And he's currently almost picking his teeth with a curved blade that looks like a
hmm.
ceremonial dagger.
He's got the sort of internalized air conditioning system where
It's
here's
really
his.
cool in here.
That's kind of pleasant enough in its own right to sit a
Right,
spell.
right. He
Uh, this
notices that.
this Chinese tea, my friend here's got an interest in all things from the Orient.
Yes, yes, it is. It's an nice oolong.
Oolong.
Everyone comes for a reason. What is yours?
Well, sir, we have found ourselves in a situation of relative impecuniarity, and having escaped a great danger, we are open to the influence of the universe to find out how it is we should proceed. However, you must understand that we're not in a position to pay you up front for any advice you might give us.
That's okay. And he gives you a long, hard stare. Well, a little bit about myself. They call me Aureliander Wright. I'm an occultist and collector of artifacts. I've been all over the West.
How do you go about collecting artifacts?
Well, you need to have an eye for it. And he looks at you, Ambrose, and says,
Yeah,
I have picked up a few voodoo bags myself."
everyone makes that gag about an eye for stuff. Some, Sometimes when you go looking for those kind of things, you lose them.
Yeah. It looks like you got on the wrong side of a certain group in
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Yeah, do you know the Devlins?
I don't like to deal with them. Last time I dealt with them, they sent a group of people that caused that damage, and he points at like three bullet holes in the back of his wagon.
Hmm. Yeah, it's not wise to go anywhere near them. So yeah, as long as you're far enough away from them, your life expectancy tends to go up.
Well, I mean, that's if they don't hire assassins, if they don't hate your guts.
Yeah, let's
But what can I do you for?
I'll look at Eustace.
Well, sir, we are part of a little party of individuals that need to go south to attend to some important business, but we ain't entirely sure how we ought to go upon our way. And it seems as though you are the sort of person that can advise those in need.
Hmm. Okay. Do you have anything that will let me know where this is from, or I'm gonna have to take a look at it. Do you have any artifacts of yourself?
I'm gonna,
Ceremonial daggers, magic clothing.
I'm gonna,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, that works. And he points.
mhm.
Ah, this is definitely Aztec in nature.
Yeah, I came to the same conclusion.
And then he starts like feeling around. He like sniffs it, kind of brushes it with dust. You can see that he becomes manic and obsessed with this thing. Very interesting. I will look at my books, and in the meanwhile, I'd like help getting some artifacts.
Is
From
there
where?
something?
There's a few things in this area that I'd be very much interested in. Did you notice how cold it was in here? Very nice. That is actually from a Wendigo's heart. So there's all kinds of monsters that you can make artifacts out of. And when I was dowsing this morning, it seems like there was a great evil that was released from the north where that basin is.
Yeah, he does correctly.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that there's some magic items or artifacts in that basin. I'd be interested in seeing them, and in turn, I'll do research on your. It definitely looks like a curse, so we can pinpoint it and get rid of it.
Anything in particular you're after?
Well, I've been tracking these gloves made out of human skin. and I have reason to suspect that this basin might have them. It came to me in a dream.
They likely burned up last night in rather a serious house fire. When
Well, you
did you
better
have
hope
this
not.
dream?
Oh, it was last night.
Maybe they're still crawling around then. Uh, well, we're fixing to get a bit of distance from that there particular dale before sunsets. But
How it's done does not matter to me, as long as it's done.
so you'll go ahead, sir.
I think going back there's probably a good looking, even more of a good idea then.
We just have to hightail it.
Hmm. Yeah.
Of course, in addition to further researching the very interesting skin work that's been done, there'll be some remuneration for the return of these particular unhealthy gloves, I should think.
Well,
You can hardly
great.
hide your curiosity, sir.
This is quite a meeting. I'm so glad to have met you three.
Mr. Wright, I hope very much that we'll be able to say the same to you in just a few short hours.
Great, great. Well, enjoy your tea. But I do have to start my afternoon reading, so after that I will request you to leave.
Weird.
And he starts to pull out like a tome that seems to be bound in human skin, and it's got like a face. He casually just starts to flick through it.
Shall we start making a move?
No time like the present.
All right, so you're ushered out of this strange wagon. And now we're gonna hop back to Joe and Jeremiah. Jeremiah, how many drinks in are you?
Enough to be nicely buzzed.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna need another spirit roll
Hmm.
because you've got alcohol in you now. There's a few
Yeah.
things you don't like about certain populations, how they act, how they treat you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's starting to grease the wheels a little bit, but I got a 4.
So you're holding it together. Great. So you don't
Okay.
start something, which is
Okay.
good for now. Joe, you're approaching the general store. What kind of equipment are you and supplies are you trying to get?
Well, I think I'm going to get some decent food to take back with us. We all are hungry. We're all
Okay.
thirsty.
So you can definitely use your earnings to get some food.
Cook knows how to cook at least, so beans and
Hmm.
whatever, beans
Oh,
and
someone's
bread.
pulling their weight in this gang. That's great. So you get some beans, rice. It'd be
Well, I
real
guess.
nice to have this loaded up on a horse or a donkey, but you don't have
Well,
that.
I'm talking to the general. Do you know where I could rent or borrow a burro or a horse?
Oh yeah. His so he introduces himself as Adam, and he says, "Well, you could try Jim's down the street. There's you're a horse seller. You might be able to rent a horse for a couple dollars."
Yeah, don't need it for but a day. Uh, would you hold this stuff here for me? I'll be back. See
Okay,
if I can come back. And what
no
I
problem,
actually
mister.
you said rice, but probably we don't have. We might have rice, but I'll probably get flour and
Any food is
cornmeal
good
and
for
stuff
the
like
gang.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
make biscuits, make muffins or whatever. All right. So I'm then heading over to the livery stable with
great. And you see Jim Hickman. He's there. He's tending the horses, brushing them. And he noticed you walk up, and he's like, "Howdy, partner."
hi, Mr. Hickman, is it?
Yes, that's right.
I was sent from the general store.
Oh, Adam sent you.
Uh,
He's a good man.
yeah, I was hoping that I could rent one of your pack mules or something. I got some
Sure.
stuff that I need to take out to the.
Okay. Where are you coming in from, buddy?
Oh well, we're on our. I got my family coming out this direction, and they were camped out last night. and I told him I'd come into town. We haven't been in this area before, so I've
Mhm.
never. I didn't know what your town was like. I figured I'd come in here, look around. It's a mighty fine town, though. Uh,
Thank you.
so I just
Well,
need to get some stuff back. I can bring your mule back or your horse back tomorrow.
okay, well, we can set you up with a rental, and with a fair price too.
I don't have a lot of cash, but what are you asking?
Oh, I don't know. Can you put something up for what is that word? Not hostage.
Collateral?
Collateral, yeah, like a watch or something.
I'm afraid I don't have much other than my hat.
Give me persuade then.
Okay.
Can you convince this person that you're a good person? And
But I'm so sweet. Oh, let's see. I got a 4.
all right, then that's good enough. There's you sense like a look of pity in his eyes, and he says, tell you what, why don't you just leave $5 down and you can have the rental.
All right. I'll think I can manage that. Now,
Okay. And he gets you a tan horse. It's been branded like
okay.
Hickman livery, and you have a horse. And you sign for it and stuff.
Yeah. So I'll take the horse back to the general store and I'll load him up. And then
Great.
I'll go over to the front of the saloon and listen for any
Sounds of violence. No, there is no
sounds of
sounds of
violence.
violence. Um, maybe you're even having such a great time. You just like the whole bar is kind of drunk and they were like all singing tales together.
Yeah. Yeah, you got yourselves an okay town here. I seen better, but you know what you really need? You need a new sheriff, 'cause that twat licking dingleberry you got right now ain't doing you no good. He's a corrupt motherfucker. You ought to be. You don't even know what that motherfucker does behind your backs.
Uh, one person actually yells out like, "Sheriff Rufus Kane is a good man."
I'll make
What
my
half-wit
way in
said
there and
that?
grab Jerry.
Come over here, you pickle puss.
Oh, okay. So, Joe, I'd like you to make some kind of athletics check in order to hold Jeremiah back before he gets
I
into a
am
conflict.
I am so not athletic.
Oh, you're gonna
Let's
want to be
see.
for this role.
That's a 4-sided dice. And I got a 4. How about that?
Okay.
Wait, does that
Yeah,
explodes?
that's a success.
And
Let's see
it
if it's
it
eight.
exploded right down to the floor.
Oh no.
Doesn't count.
So, how do you
3.
react to Joe grabbing you from the shoulders, Jeremiah? And there's a bearded
Let's
fellow who
just say
stands up and says, "We don't want any of that here."
Joe's probably
let's
like the
just
only person I would let do that to me. So yeah,
let's say I
I'll
know his pressure points.
yeah I'll go with it. I'll go with it this
All
time.
right, you drag him out.
Come on, we're going.
All right, and you're heading back to the camp.
Yeah, we can
All
both
right,
fit on the horse, I think.
yeah, I'd say so. And then Bongiorno, Ambrose, Eustace, what are you all doing?
What's the horse's name?
Well, let's call him Dust.
Dust. Okay. Come on, Dusty. And we'll drive back to the camp. Or right, drive.
Can't we just stay for
Riding
one
the
more
horse.
drink? Can we stay for one more drink?
No, but we can come back. I got some alcohol in the pack.
Okay, great. Was Bongiorno, Ambrose, and Eustace, were you going to do anything else, or were you going to head back to camp and share your findings?
I
I
thought we were
assumed
going to
we,
go to
yeah,
the
but we're heading
rock.
straight up to Haunted Rock because we don't want to be here after dusk.
Okay, so you're heading to the prison camp, right? All right,
Yep.
awesome. There's a few things that have changed. One, the gate that's been kind of blown open, it's been put back. Like, and it's a little lopsided, and it looks like a barricade has been formed on your side to keep whatever's inside inside.
Wasn't expecting that.
Any signs on the route of campfire or other external settlement?
I guess what you'd notice as you approach this little cave entrance is the fact that it smells of rotten death, and as you get closer, you see a pallid arm just like hanging out from within the gate barrier.
Well, sir, I can't say I like it. Uh, but we ain't got much else to go on. Is this your lopsided gate set up in such a way that would be hard for a regular sized human to squeeze around?
With work, you can push some stuff aside and get in.
Well, work that thy name is Bongiorno. Chef that crate, will you, Lug?
Yeah, we,
All
we
right,
don't
I'll
want.
take a strength roll, and well, you can definitely see what kind of how much time that takes. Because it's late afternoon now. Who knows when the sun's gonna set?
Ah! I did not pass.
You can spend a penny to pass,
Benny!
or
Yeah,
penny
I'm
to
gonna spend a
re-roll.
penny. I'm spending a penny. Okay, yeah, I passed. I got 5.
Great. So with a 5, you just shove this wrought iron gate that's been leaned up against this and move some crates around. And yeah, you do that, and it's just dark. It's this long, maybe 30-foot passageway that's just dark.
Please, is there a palpable sense of fear inside this place?
Yeah, I would say the smell wouldn't help. It smells like the
Yeah.
inside of a bloated corpse that's been dragged up from the bottom of a river.
Yeah, I'm gonna start flagging on some nonsense about an awful place I was once when I was a kid, or seemed awful at first because it was uh, filthy and unkempt, but then it turned out to be a true delight. The the village I grew up in had a woman who was called a witch, and everyone was scared of her. And I got dared to go in there, and my heavens, she made the finest snickerdoodle cookies you ever tasted. She was as sweet as could be. Gave me 2 pockets full of chocolate on the way out, and I kept her secret for her. And every once in a while, I go back and visit for a treat. So you ain't got nothing to be afraid of, fellers. Let's just find these human gloves and let's just find these artifacts.
That's a
Was
great
her
story. I'm gonna give you a penny for that.
was her secret the fact that she ground up the bones of the 2 kids that had come there previously, and that's what she made the cookies with?
So,
What if she shows up now and says, "You just spilled the beans"?
Yeah.
So it is quite dark, but fortunately enough, there's still a few lanterns.
so if my, in addition to the Benny, I want my tale-teller power to buck up my
Sure.
comrades and give us all conviction. So we ain't so nervous in here.
We need to lower the fear. Oh, well, you'd need to have some kind of victory over the area to use that, unfortunately.
I'll give you a bonus to the fear check if there is one. So who's turning on a lantern?
If there is one, I don't mind holding it up and shining
All
a
right,
light.
so you light that, you turn it, light the oil, and the first thing you see is that there's a lot more holes in the wall. Numerous holes of many sizes littering the walls, and you swear, you see a pale face stretched too thin staring at you, and then it just disappears into the darkness.
I imagine that thing from the pit's gone and done something to raise up all the souls who died here and use them as tools of infamy. Can we just locate the nonsense and get the hell out?
Yeah, we need to be very quick about this.
Maybe, Bongiorno, you want to maintain the perimeter while we go and have a look-see? You can holler if anything pokes its head out of a hole.
Yeah, that's fine.
Give me a notice roll, folks, and you go in.
Yes. Oh, my 8 got an 8.
5.
And an 8.
Okay, wonderful.
And a 7. So I exploded the world.
Nice. So you basically start walking in and you hear this low chuckling like just from deep within these holes that are in the walls. Some rustling of movement. It's just a corridor. You just have to get through. There's still light on the other side.
Eyes on the prize. Just
Are you running or are you
no, I'm
walking?
striding confidently and
Mhm.
defiantly.
I'm going to continue to bullshit on the way just to
Give
keep things
me,
jolly.
yeah, I'll like another persuade roll as you try to keep yourself calm or keep whatever's on the other side entertained.
Well, my highest is
Maybe
a
they like
4.
your stories.
I did get a 4.
Hmm. You feel like you have a phantom audience, and you keep blabbing.
Yeah, I just get a little bit louder, a little more strident. She also made her own peppermint striped candy, which was exceptionally delightful. Very crisp and
Candy.
cleansing. Yeah.
Yeah, you swear you hear someone murmur candy, and then bam, you're on the other side.
This hot southern sun feels awful pleasant this late afternoon. Now I assume that the good doctor's house is nothing but ash and
Right, but there's still an entrance to the a basement.
And there was plenty of stuff down there.
all right, let's see if we can grab anything like a shovel. Uh, and any sign of have the corpses that littered this area been cleaned up?
They look like they've been dragged away. There's drag
Yeah,
marks in the sand, and
yeah.
beyond the burnt house, you do see the pit. And also beyond that, even further, where that mine has exploded outward with with the force of some spiritual tornado, phantom energies, blood.
Don't tell Jeremiah he's being described as an explosion of energy.
So
Uh,
whatever you need to do here, do you have good reason?
we're in for a dime now. I think the dollar is as good as spent. I'll do a quick look see. I'm gonna go to the quartermaster's hut.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see grab a couple of burlap sacks,
Hmm.
a pickaxe if there's one handy, a shovel.
Yeah. Yep, you
If
find
he's
all of
got
that.
any liquor stored there, I'll put some of that in the burlap sack.
I'll charge you a notice roll for that one because you do see the remnants of this prison escape, right? Some stuff is torn off the shelves, grabbed.
Oh, I got a 4 on both, so no
Okay,
excitement.
then I will give you a fine bottle of brandy
Very nice.
that unopened.
I'll wrap that up in another burlap sack so we don't smash it by accident, and then take the tools over to the cellar and start poking around.
Okay.
How much does Ghost Rocks sell for?
A lot, but you do need a seller, a buyer.
Yeah, you got to find your local mad scientist who's going to be willing to pony up the cash for it. But
Although you could bury some somewhere secret and come back for it later. Although we do have to be on the move.
Yeah, we might get lucky in town.
now, if I remember right, from when we first turned up, one of the
Yeah,
things that we saw was the warden handing over a bag of cash to the sheriff
it
in
was
exchange
gold,
for.
gold coin.
Right. Imagine he didn't hand all of them over. He must have a stash of where the rest of this stuff came from.
Absolutely.
That's going to be one other thing I'm going to be looking for.
Okay. You
Yeah,
think it might be in the basement.
human gloves won't survive a lot of heat, but gold is worth just as much melted into a blob as it is coined. So,
Mhm.
So you're going to smash at the door to this cellar, right? All right. So your pickaxe goes down, and you hear Who's doing that? It's this guttural voice emanating from deep within the basement.
Does it sound like our friend the foreman?
No, this is more primordial. This you, storyteller? The one with the candies?
I'm
You
among
hear,
a party, sir.
hmm. You seem to be knocking on the door to my home.
Well, we certainly did not expect anyone to be in residence. Did you inherit the place from good Dr. Hope?
Yes, yes, I did.
What else did you inherit?
Well, we've always been here under the ground.
Is
Oh,
it
the
a,
feast we had.
I'm beginning to wonder if this is not an endeavor of great foolishness.
Does this sound like the six-armed monster?
No.
Oh, then I'm going in.
Okay. So you start to hammer at the door. He's like, goes, wait, what are you doing? Don't do that. Me and my friends won't be so happy.
Is it the sunlight that bothers you?
Mayhap.
I'm sorry, I
Well,
don't speak English.
All right, so you're gonna keep breaking in.
Yeah, unless he's going to give us the gold and the gloves.
Well, he might.
Perhaps we could parlay a moment and make an arrangement that's satisfactory for all parties. Uh,
Yes, yes. You wanted what's in here, right?
just a couple of items.
Hmm. Not too bad. Well, we need food.
Oh, yeah.
So we quite like the living arrangements here, and we permit you entrance for, let's say, two bodies, dead less not than dead less than 24 hours.
I'm,
Human.
surp- I'm surprised you ain't rather gorged at the moment. You didn't save anything for later at all?
It does not answer you. We got a deal or what?
Two human bodies dead less than 24 hours. Payable by when? I mean, we
Whatever.
didn't bring any with us.
We'll come back with some next time.
I think
Yeah.
there's some drag marks that we can probably follow to find those that fell in the escape.
Oh no, we cleaned those up real good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought the general courtyard looked very thoroughly tidied.
It's getting pretty late, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. Well, sir, how may I refer to you in future should someone else answer the door?
Just call us Legion.
I'll just call you Legion.
For you are quite a few. Many, one might say.
Oh yes, we are many.
Mm,
Well, I think a sack, a gold coin, and a couple of unnatural human gloves are certainly worth some recently dead human bodies. Don't you, gentlemen?
Well, assuming we can find them, yes.
I don't think I have a feeling we're going to see plenty more dead before we know it.
Mhm.
Uh, Alrighty then. Do you have some sort of window service, or should we just descend into your pit of terror?
Why don't you ring the bell at the front of the front gate where the tunnel is, and we'll know. And then maybe you can even join us for the feast.
Well, I had some very interesting tea already today and some fine stew, but
We could break bread together.
well then, yeah, we'll see at the gate. This is a reciprocal measure. We have to bring you them when you give us the gold and the gloves?
Oh, no, we can assure you, you can get whatever is in the safe, and you hear a kind of like a safe door being yanked open. Oh, looks like there's a lot of gold and gloves here, if not and more.
Right then. Well, Mister's Legion, we appreciate your straightforwardness.
Well, that's how business should be dealt. Just between two honest men.
Well, one man in a legion of things that are no longer men, I think it's safe to say, but begging your pardon, sirs. Uh,
Details, details.
I have I have a hankering to go back and meet with our friends. Shall we?
Yeah, let's.
All right, okey doke. Toodaloo. And then as you walk away, that laughing gets blown away in the wind. And you are permitted to leave safely,
Mm.
which is great too because the sun's setting.
I'm hoping that some other morons that broke out of this place have started fights amongst themselves, and that might be some bodies laying around out there. You never know.
Might,
Some of them could have a mouth like Jeremiah.
yeah, might as well feel there should be some, men running from a tornado made of blood with too many arms don't usually cover their tracks very well.
Mhm.
So if we just head in the right general direction and keep our eyes open, we might find a couple of new ones.
We did see the camp near the weirdo's tent.
Yeah, yeah. And there were a lot of desperate and hateful men getting out of that place, so the likelihood of there being some newly murdered isn't tiny.
I don't know. This is getting a little bit satanic.
I can't tell you that I feel particularly good about that negotiation myself, but I also feel as though we very narrowly escaped with our hides intact.
Mm. Yeah, while this does feel like a literal deal with the devil, I'd rather deal with him rather than be killed by him.
Great. With that, bam, you're all back at camp.
Well, fresh coffee and fatback. Excellent work there, Joe.
Yep. We'll eat for a couple of days at least. The town's quite nice. It's ripe for the picking, if you ask me. They got guards in front of the bank. But
Y'all should have seen my boy go to work on them dim-wit rednecks. They didn't even know what hit them. They was playing pairs. Joe was playing full houses and flushes. Hell, he cleaned that whole place out.
And I didn't have to make a deal with the devil. It sounds like you guys came close.
You didn't happen to spot any couple of dead bodies just happen to be lying around? No? Fresh ones?
No, but there'll be plenty of dead bodies if we go into that town and rob the place. I'm not as bloodthirsty and heartless as you, but if they got a safe, I'll crack the safe for you.
When you say I'm bloodthirsty and heartless, I'm advocating.
Well, I just meant all of you in general.
Hmm.
I'm kind of specialized. You're kind of specialized too.
Mm-hmm.
I generally talked my way through into and out of trouble. Taking a few fellers' life last night was, I won't say it was a first for me, but it's not something I'm rightly accustomed to. And that was frankly warfare, not murder.
So you think that the fortune teller, the soothsayer, can remove the marks from our hands, but we've got to do some things for him first.
I think he can give us advice that we ain't got. He seemed to have insight.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that the pact I made with the things that live underneath Hope's house, I'm not sure that that's negotiable. I think if I don't provide two human bodies, they're going to take them from me one way or another.
What
Yours
kind
might
of
be different.
person covets gloves made from human flesh?
Ooh, someone driven mad by arcane lore.
Jesus.
Maybe they want it to feel like somebody else.
I tell you though, I tell you though,
I'm gonna give
Jeremiah,
you a penny for that.
it was a slow burn, Clank. I tell you something, Jeremiah, if on a hot day down here, the comfort that he maintains, given the what the heck kind of heart was that he said, Ambrose?
Wendigo.
He's got a monster's heart. His place was as cool as a cucumber.
What the hell's a Wendigo?
It's a monster that's created by someone that has partaken in cannibalism.
Also, regarding our negotiation this afternoon, I know when to go.
Hmm.
You think
But
those things are Wendigos?
I just think it's a funny word.
Yeah,
So,
we leave you folks alone for 1 hour and you're making deals with devils to provide hands made of human skin.
did I mention that I had some very fine brandy that I found?
Yeah, that could be a pretty penny. That's vintage.
Well, I
thinking
got you
of
some whiskey, and we got some cornmeal. We can make up some nice cornbread to go with the beans.
Yeah. While you were out, the Townsend brothers, they were, let's say, hunting,
Mhm.
and then Mama was scouting,
Have some rabbits too.
and then Eligio, he was on guard.
thinking of what we've been told about gloves made of human skin. Is there anything in what I've maybe read that might indicate what if these things are known or do they have particular powers? I'm trying to get what he might particularly want them for.
Mostly, give me the call roll.
Oh, my 8 exploded. So 8 plus 7, 15.
Yeah, you've heard of like artifacts. Like anything can be really considered an artifact. Anything that's wicked or enchanted. Uh, these gloves could really they could do anything. They could probably make you better at gambling or make you more dexterous. It's hard to say.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. So that they will have a benefit. That's the
Yeah,
main thing. Yeah.
and because this guy does seem Oleander, he does seem a collector of these artifacts, these items.
Particularly the skin type. Hmm.
Yeah.
I do
And you
believe
trust them?
oleander is a deadly poison too.
He might be a weirdo, but
Mm.
who isn't a weirdo?
I like to think I'm quite normal personally. But
Now, my concern at the moment, having acquired some prospects for our future and immediate necessities, is hiding this little encampment from whatever might roam out during the night.
Yeah,
Is
this
there
encampment's hidden pretty good. Like it was better hidden than the one that you just found right off the road that the another chain gang's probably at.
because this one was set up ahead of time
Yes.
and not in the direction of most escapees. So we can, if we just keep the place dark at night, maintain a watch, hopefully no tornado of death will come out of the pit and murder us all.
Oh, I
Perhaps.
plumb forgot. One of the men that I gambled with this afternoon was Ben Callahan from the Callahan Ranch that we passed. Uh, I led him to believe that I might be looking for a job. He's a cattle rancher.
How many head?
I don't know. I didn't get that far, but it ain't going to be three.
No, you need
Uh,
quite a few healthy horses to maintain a decent sized cattle ranch. So,
and you also, he said they caught a couple of people trying to steal horses yesterday
Or in the morning.
or in the morning.
Yeah.
yeah, so
Probably
there's
some of
that.
our escapees.
Fresh dead bodies.
if they are dead.
He didn't say what he did with the ones he caught.
I don't remember if he said he shot them, but
No, he didn't say anything about that.
Crime for
yeah.
horse theft is
Well, yeah. Cattle
Yeah,
wrestling is the same. So cattle wrestling? Did you wrestle the cattle to the ground? Rustling.
Bongiorno might be able to wrestle him, but
For sure.
I could try.
that hellhound is bigger than any steer I ever seen. Sharper too.
Yeah, a horse
But
is
I'll
150 bucks.
but I'll
Yeah.
tell you one thing, that rancher's gonna have lots of money. And quite honestly, if I sign on as a ranch hand and I find out where that safe is, where he's keeping his money, I don't need no skin gloves to open
We're
that safe.
gonna rob good working people.
Well, if we wanted to feel bad about what we did, we'd be in another profession.
Absolutely.
some of us were in other professions.
Most of us are just making our way in a world we didn't choose. Well, now, unless we want to go out corpse hunting in the twilight, I reckon we ought to tuck in early.
At this point,
Try
the
not to
sun's set.
fart too much.
I'll take a notice roll.
My six exploded, so it only turned into an eight, but
The 8 is with a raise. All right. So with a normal, right? You do hear just far off in the distance, like the sounds of gunfire, like rifle fire, revolver fire. But with the raise, you hear that whooshing again from that very night you escaped of that wind, that rushing wind, this furious warlike wind, and the sounds of men's screams being carried by the wind. And then and it's so faint because it's so far away, but you do hear that scream of 1,000 tormented women.
what direction is that from?
Well, probably very far north.
I was about to say the same thing because with a single success,
Yeah.
marking in the dust or the dirt near where I'm laying down to sleep, an arrow pointing to remind me that's the direction where we heard this, because we can always go
Yeah.
pick up the remnants tomorrow.
All right. Is anyone doing anything about this unsettling information?
Uh, whiskey.
Ambrose, do you know any sort of
It doesn't get closer, but
ward?
this goes on for quite a while until it stops, until the
You
gunfire
s-
stops.
you said you saw something on that gate, like a sign.
Like, oh, you mean the gate that was put back or the
Yeah.
cultists?
Oh, it was of a bull's head.
Oh,
Okay. So not some sort of magical ward.
no, I think that's more just to scare people off and to generally promote fear. I mean,
And
in theory, I can call upon the lower to provide some degree of protection, but it's not a skill that I've honed yet. But it's one of those things on it seems to be an ever growing list of me to commune with them about.
The lower what?
Not with a WER, lower LOA.
the
Well,
spirits of the universe.
The demons.
take your word for it.
Not demonic.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of the gang, they kind of heard this gunfire too, and they kind of sit up. They're tense for the rest of the night. But yeah, whatever this sounded is not getting closer, and eventually it subsides by the middle of the night. And Maybe some of you drift off to sleep, maybe some of you don't. But the sun does rise the next day. You, with the sun rising now, you can get a proper direction of where this was. It's not directly north to where Hunting Rock is, but a little northwest. So it's like maybe something happened between Hunting
Moving.
Rock and, but it definitely
Something's
was not at Hunting Rock.
something's drifting and hunting. And
Well,
I'm
Oh, and oh, I totally forgot. During the night, your brand begins to glow and faintly feel just sore.
it's hunting for us.
All of
yeah.
us, or just Eustace?
All of us. We've all got the brand, don't we?
Yeah.
I think we're
What?
sacrifices.
I'm somewhat hopeful that since we were recent arrivals, that things go in a numeric order and we have a little bit of time. I assume everyone is slightly different as the sacrifices marked in the satanic books or whatever have you. Now, what time do you have to return that horse, Clank? And where the hell did
I'll
Clank come from? Is that Hank and Cletus stuck together?
Clank because I open up safes, dude. I've always
Oh.
been Clank.
I haven't known you that terribly long, so
Well, we were under a great deal of duress in the last week. So
not so many days as that. So how long do you have to drop that horse back?
I'll take them back this morning. They didn't really seem that concerned. They seemed like a nice bunch of gullible fools, people.
I asked because it'll be a lot easier to get human remains from the melee last night back to the hellhole if we have a horse. I can
Well,
make up
that's
a travoy, but it's a pain in my keister.
so I told them that I was going out to meet my family who was on their way back. So why don't we keep the horse for now? And my guess is they'll be quite understanding. I'll bring them an extra $1 or two.
Yeah. Everybody reckon after coffee and beans, we go up and see if there's any human remains left of the fracas last night?
Having
If they haven't
eggs
already
and
been
bacon
taken.
and muffins and donuts and oatmeal.
Well, we might leave ahead of you then, because the days are too short for lingering.
I won
Well,
myself $12. That's practically enough to buy a ranch.
it's a fine take, I'll tell you. No doubt about it. And I hope we don't have to send you out a gambling every day, because a gambler's luck doesn't hold forever.
Also, gambling for your money, it can be fairly slow. Maybe
Well, it
you
can
need
also be
fast
dangerous because they might
cash.
want their money back.
Good thing you got Jeremiah with you to shoot up the saloon.
Yeah.
Because I can
You don't
run
need-
faster than Jeremiah.
You don't need to feel bad, Eustace, for not knowing why they call Joe Clank. I always assumed until today that it was because of the buckshot in his scrotum, but I guess I was wrong about that too.
That's
You can get a
true.
penny for that.
Every time I sit down in the outhouse, it makes a noise.
That's a story for another day. Let's get through breakfast, saddle up, and see if there's any corpses we can barter. I want to move on.
Yeah, that's great. You can definitely walk on over to and try and find where that campsite was, but you think there was an attack. So, I'll take
We're
a
gonna ride.
track or a survival or a navigate. One
We're
of
going to
the-
ride the horse.
Yeah, that's fine. You got one horse. You're gonna get there first, but you're not gonna get there together.
Well, I'm probably riding with them. I'm
Okay.
not kind of
Yeah, you can do that.
looking down on them from way up high.
You can lead the horse so you
No,
can
I'm
type
gonna-
animal at.
I think Eustace needs to ride. He's the old one. You can be offended or you can get on a horse.
I think we want to keep
Right.
the horse fresh so that it can carry the two corpses promptly. I don't
What do
mind
you
walking in the
weigh? Like
morning air.
you weigh like
It's,
95 pounds?
if I'm soaking wet, yeah, around 95.
It's a workhorse. He's used to carrying. Ambrose, you keep putting your hand up because you want to say something. Say something.
So even with a D4 -2 at every skill that you just listed off, I still get a 5.
Yeah, woo! Okay, so you succeed. What that means is, you follow this trail. You go off trail because you have to find this place northwest, and it ends up in a little alcove, a cusp of trees, where people have set up some like rudimentary sleeping bags. And the first thing you notice is just like a leg that's been torn asunder. It looks like it's been hit with a very gruesome weapon, one you've probably seen before. It's the club with the obsidian blades.
Yep.
So just like getting hit by
Brutal.
that, just exploded that guy's limb off.
But it's only a
So
leg. We need more
yeah,
than a leg.
it is a leg. And you come across a camp, smoke still smoldering. There's some drag marks. It looks like guns were definitely fired. There's that smell of cordite in the air. But unfortunately, you don't see any guns at all. It looks like they've been taken
Not only are they hungry for bodies, they're hungry for firearms as well. That's bloody
by
inconsiderate.
who or what. And Ambrose, I would say you get a very concerning thought. What if whatever was unleashed is also learning?
Well, intelligent monsters are even worse. Ugh.
What if they can use those six arms, but for guns instead?
So hopefully they can't aim with them. That's all I'm gonna counterbalance that thought with.
Yeah, so you kind of just go like, oh, geez, that's a horrible idea. But yeah, there's no full bodies. And with your six and notice Eustace, I will say there are drag marks. There's signs of animals being in this area, picking over whatever remains. And you do see drag marks into what appears to be an animal den.
Uh, do the do the drag marks seem like they most of a human body size?
I would say so, yeah.
Well, that's not coyotes then. That's wolves, right? I mean, coyotes can't drag a whole person even as a team.
Yep.
Then they probably fed on it,
Can't
but
be worse than the three-headed dog.
I sure would like to wrap up this contract I have with the Legion. Uh,
It's just a one-headed dog. You've already fought a three-headed dog.
Yeah, but when there's 3 of them and they've got 1 head each, it still adds up to a problem.
any other useful supplies and other than bloody sleeping bags and
Yeah, there's bloodied sleeping bags. I would say there's a few cans of food.
there some scrap to sack up and take back.
And I
Uh,
would say there's even a donkey
Oh,
oh,
there we
that's
go.
tied to a tree. It is terrified.
yeah,
I'll,
that
I'll,
poor thing's gonna need some gentling.
yeah, I'll go over and see if I can
Do you have
calm
animal
the poor thing
handling?
down. Yeah,
Let me see. There's a skill for animal handling, right? I'm pretty sure there is.
that
Uh,
sounds like a D4 -2
There's
again.
writing.
yeah,
Yeah, riding would
riding.
work. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll buy riding.
Oh, so D4 -2 again then.
Very good.
This is why I have This is why I have bennies. Oh,
Oh,
no, no.
ha 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 ha.
4.
Oh,
4. Great. And then what about you, Eustace?
that's a total of 28.
28?
My six kept sixing.
Oh
My,
my
I
God.
got four
was my
sixes
4
and a
out.
four.
So everyone, you try to like calm this animal that's terrified. Uh, almost get kicked in the head. But Eustace, you just go right up to it and you're like, you're right at home with this mule. It instinctively trusts you. and it starts to nuzzle you.
We're gonna call you Buttercup, you old fella, you sweet old feller,
Right.
you.
We got a
Uh,
donkey today.
and I'm
Woo!
I'm gonna move it over where it's got some grazing area and give it one of Joe's muffins too.
Right.
That'll be very helpful. No, we just have to not get killed in that crevasse in the rocks over there where some large animal dragged something.
Well, are you gonna poke around in an animal's den? Up to you. Bonjour, you could just walk in there and strangling the wild.
Great. Are there any lanterns ain't broken at this campsite?
I would say, yeah, there's a lantern.
Let that be
There's one
the
just like sideways in the mud.
Yeah, I'm gonna need someone to carry the lantern for me while I beat the shit out of these wolves.
I'll look at Jeremiah.
I didn't understand that I was with you guys, but I will do that if I am.
I thought we went up as a
around and
group,
hope
but
he's there.
Yeah, you went up as a group.
Okay, I'll hold the lantern.
Okay, so you're going to go into this animal den, Bongiorno. Great. Give me a notice roll.
4.
Okay, great. So as you walk in, right, following these drag marks, there's definitely two drag marks here. And you go into this animal den and you have to crouch down, right? Are you going to be on your hands and knees, or are you going to do like an awkward crab walk, kneel down, kind of going like this?
Um, I'll be on my hands and knees, I guess.
Okay, so it smells like an animal here. It smells beastly. It smells like damp fur. It smells like blood. And as Jeremiah, you're kind of behind him with the lantern as he's crouched down. You get a view of Bongiorno's behind
What do you
as he
say?
crawls in. This is the part where two large shapes start to converge on either side on Bongiorno. And in the light of the lantern, these are two dire wolves. So yeah, they're gonna just try and maul you. We're just gonna go into combat proper. I think we can do this in 15 minutes here. It'll
You'll
be
rip them
quick.
apart in one round. Go on.
Bonjour.
All right, so Ambrose, you do get the first card, and that is a Jack of Hearts.
I'll provide scorecards from outside.
All right, Joe, you've got a Three of Hearts. Remember, you can pay a Benny to get a different one. Three hearts.
I'll actually pay a Benny to get a different
Okay,
higher
great.
card.
Then you have an Eight of Hearts. Eustace, you got a Five of Diamonds.
I should have thought
Bongiorno,
this through.
Jack of Spades. Jeremiah, Seven of Hearts.
I'm gonna
The
spend a penny.
Wolves. Oh, okay. Nine of Spades. The Wolves get. All right, Bongiorno, you are first on either side of you. There's these two massive dire wolves bearing their fangs. And they look like they're about to grab onto your limbs on either side as you've encroached upon their territory.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to punch one of them directly in the wolf mouth.
Okay, great. Let's see it. Give me
Uh,
a brawling. Fighting,
Fighting.
fighting, fighting.
mm, can you re-roll 1 and 1?
No, that is a fumble.
Okay, so I
Um,
fumbled.
okay, I would say because that's a fumble, They both clamp down on both your arms. You start screaming as they're pulling you in either direction. Why don't you go ahead and I'm just gonna roll damage because that's fun. Strength plus. Okay. Da, da, da. What is your toughness? Ooh. What the fuck?
Uh-oh.
17 damage.
Oh,
A die exploded.
I have 7 toughness.
Okay, so that is shaken. 11 becomes wounded 1. 15 becomes
He's
wounded
being
2 and shaken. Now you're welcome to soak.
Okay, I'll soak.
Okay, give me a vigor roll.
Uh, oh, I'm not very vigorous.
Well, you know, I think it'd be funny if we just had a clear character death. But
Yeah,
I don't think I think
got
you'll be
4.
fine. 4? All right, so you're wounded 1 and shaken.
Okay.
So that is the result of your turn, and you hear Bongiorno screaming as he's getting worried by wolves. Ambrose, what are you doing?
This suddenly doesn't sound like it's going particularly to plan. I
You
think
do get one
I'll
of your corpses if that's look on the
oh,
bright side.
hey, win in either case. Yeah, I think I'll utter a prayer and I'll do exactly what I did down in the pit. So I'll call out Marinette of the Dry Arms.
Hey, you're gonna summon a voodoo god to deal with these wolves.
More a case I'm summoning a lower to help my friend. So.
Okay. Like miniature thunder lightning strikes in the distance as this skeletal form, almost appearing like a hologram, appears at your back. Great.
I still need to
That
make the faith roll for it because I think
let's
there's
see it.
benefits if I get more. That'll be. Ooh, the 6 rolls up. 8 in either instance, so that is a raise.
Okay, great. Do you get any bonus with the raise?
I think it's higher damage. I'm just checking. Yeah, the damage is increased to strength plus D8 on a raise.
Beautiful. All right, well, it is the dire wolves' turn. And they're gonna attack you one each. So one's clamped down on your arm, the other's clamped down on your other arm, Bongiorno. It's gonna make a fighting roll. Let's see it. What is your parry?
6.
Oh, that's good. You start to punch one in the snout as it tries to eat you, but one does get some a more efficient hit off. It lets go of your arms and it goes for your ribs and it clamps down and it
Ow.
does 4 damage, no damage at all. Because I'm assuming your toughness is more than 4.
Yeah. 7.
Meanwhile, Bongiorno screams they continue. All right, 9 of spades, Jeremiah Jones.
First off, I'm screaming, "Come on, fight, Bongiorno! Fight them damn wolves!"
Are you going to taunt Bongiorno?
I think that only works on enemies.
Anyone's an enemy.
But do I have a gun?
Yeah, you might have a gun. Do you have a gun? I don't know. Did you pick up a gun?
I did have a gun in my
Okay,
pack
then
when
you've
I
got
got
a
back
gun.
to the camp. Yeah, so I think it might be time to use it.
Okay.
But they're in the
Yeah.
den, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't really
Do I have
shoot
a
past.
Do I have a clear shot? Yeah, it's not clear.
I would say no. You get a -2.
Oh,
Grab his leg. We'll pull him out.
Remember, he had to crawl in.
Grab the seat, grab his jeans and yank him.
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
Bongiorno,
yeah,
you feel your
I'll grab
flesh
his-
tearing.
I'll grab his belt and I'll just yank and try to run out of there.
All right, give me a strength roll.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
if I'm next, I can help.
You are next, so I'll give you a +2 because Joe's
We're
helping.
both helping.
Oh, okay. Then I got a 9.
Oh shit! All right, so that is a raise. So I'm gonna say you yank Bongiorno out. He leaves a trail of blood on the ground as he's yanked out. The wolves
Okay.
let go of him.
But the
Looks
wolves will
like
be busting out any second now.
yeah,
So
and you do see because of that raise one of their heads, snarling faces, almost poking out of this den, ready to leap. So it is going to be Eustace's turn. 5 of diamonds.
I have no firearm, and I'm over around the side of this den with a mule, having a nice time.
The mule freaks out then. I would
yeah.
say that it is in complete panic. Give me another kind of animal handling
Yeah,
roll.
I'll try to ride again. Uh, oh, and a 6, and
All
a
right.
6, and a 4. I am blessed with aminals.
You have bonded with this animal. You
Oh,
must keep
Buttercup.
Buttercup safe. Great.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, Jeremiah, throw the lantern at him. Will be
okay.
my advice.
Yeah, that's great advice. But we're gonna go top of the round. Ambrose, 2 of spades.
Nah, have a Benny.
All right. 8 of clubs. Joe Clank, king of clubs. Eustace, you got ace of clubs. Bongiorno, king of hearts. Jeremiah, 3 of clubs. Unless you want to spend a Benny.
Yeah, I'm spending a Benny.
Okay, then in that case, you get the queen of diamonds.
Excellent.
That means the wolves get a joker.
Nah.
Fuck the wolves.
This is goofy. Okay, I guess the wolves are gonna go first as they leap out of the den. And they're still gonna try and eat your ass.
No,
Come on,
what's Eustace have?
Huh?
What's Eustace have? Because in case he pulls a
Oh,
joker.
Eustace has a
I
ace of
got
clubs.
I got the ace of clubs.
Ah,
Yeah, so jokers go whenever they want. They get a +2 for this. Jesus. I did not expect this unfortunate turn of events. So what they are going to do is they're going to try and eat you once more, Bongiorno. They're hot at your heels. They've gotten a taste of blood. They're going to taste some more.
It's Italian food. That's why they like it.
That's right. So one of them does hit with a 7, and it is going to deal damage here. What is your toughness? 6?
Playing
My
tuggies like
toughness
that.
is 7.
Oh, 7. Okay. Well, I did roll an exploding die, so
Fuck.
that is going to be 8 plus 15, which is a raise. 15 is pretty bad. That's 2 raises, right? Yeah, because 7, 11, 15. So
Okay,
that
can I
is,
soak again?
you may soak again
All right, I'm soaking again.
because you're already shaken and wounded 1. That would have
Yeah,
taken you to 4.
I think that means I'm dead.
Yeah. Or, in horrible condition.
Yeah, I got another 4.
Okay, great. So that is only, okay, so you're shaken and wounded 3 instead of shaken and wounded 4. So yeah, one just clamps down and you actually get a bit of skin torn off and they start biting at your legs as you're being dragged away. These dire wolves, they're filled with bloodlust. Jesus, man. All right, Ace of Clubs. We got Eustace here. These
Yeah,
wolves, they've gone crazy.
Eustace is useless under these circumstances. I would turn Buttercup around and have her kick the dire wolves in the head, but I think that's
You can
too
do
slow a
that.
process.
I would say you formed an animal link.
No, let's do it. I've got 5 bennies to spend, so
You can do that with a why don't we call it an animal roll?
with all right. I only rolled a 4, so I'm going to spend a
That's
benny if
okay. Great.
I want. There we go, another 6. So Oh, and a 5. So I got 11.
Okay, that hits. You get an extra D6 because it does raise for the damage. I would say the donkey's damage, why don't we call it an 8 plus the 6 from the extra damage?
Yeah, you can kill a human.
That's a 8 on the 8, so I roll again.
And then roll another D6 because it's strength plus D6 plus the extra D6.
All right, so 15.
15. I'm gonna try it so good. So describe this. Do you like turn the buttercup
I,
around and like
I,
slap it?
I've been petting Buttercup, and she's already afraid of the direwolves and
Oh
their
my
smell.
lord.
And I see them turn around, and I give her a smack on the flank. And when she turns around, I say, "Punch!" And she just rears back her hind legs.
It absolutely caves in one of the wolves' skulls. One of the wolves goes down. It's twitching on the ground. It is basically out for the count. You can see that there's this horrible hollowness as its skull has been caved in.
I
So you
wonder if
that
Buddy can
happened.
cook that.
Probably. So great. What a great turn. You
Dire soup.
weaponized Bonjourno, it is your turn. You are shaken and wounded 3.
Okay, I'm
Make
gonna
that
unshake.
spirit roll in order to not be shaken anymore, or spend a Benny, and or.
Oh, yeah, I'll spend one. I only have one left, but I'll
All right,
spend
you are
one.
no longer shaken, but you are wounded 3. You are grievously wounded.
I'm gonna try to
You're gonna have wolf
strangle.
bite scars forever.
I'm gonna try to strangle this wolf.
Okay, give me a fighting, please.
Okay, 8.
Okay, at 8 hits, roll strength plus you're unarmed.
Strength plus my fighting?
Yeah. Oh well,
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's strength plus I believe a D6 because you're a
Yeah,
brawler.
strength plus D6, yeah. Um, and wait, do I also get an advantage for my fighting style?
Oh, what does your fighting style say?
I forgot. It said something about extra damage.
Oh, doesn't count.
Damn
You
it.
gotta know your character.
Okay, I'll just do it strength. I
Strength
got
plus D6. Let's see.
4 or 3 in total, or
3 in
3
total.
plus 1. 3 plus 1.
Do you want to spend the Benny to reroll?
Oh, you just
I don't
spent
have
your
any.
last one, haven't you?
Oh, you don't have any. Okay, then in that case, you try to ineffectively choke this wolf, and it's snarling and bearing down on you. Uh, no luck. King of Clubs, Joe Clank. What are you doing?
Okay,
This
so all
fiasco
this
has
has
gone on for
happened.
too long.
All this has happened very quickly, though, in real life.
Right.
As soon as I pulled Bongiorno out, I let him go, and I grabbed a hold of the lantern with the intention of smashing it over the wolves' heads, lighting
Okay.
them on fire. However, everything
That would
sort of
damage the pelt.
changed. Well, what's that?
I might using fire might damage the pelt.
Well, I was more worried about Bongiorno, but now, like
Oh,
I
I
say,
mean, there's
everything
that.
changed. Everything changed. The donkey killed the one, and then
Yes.
Bongiorno's decided to try to strangle the damn thing, so I'd light him on fire in the process. So I think all I can do is run around to the side and start kicking at the fucking wolf.
Ah, you take
Just
one
my
from
own,
Buttercup. A page out of Buttercup. All
to
right,
make
give
him
me a
let go
fighting.
of Bongiorno.
Yeah, I'll
I'm a
take a fighting
terrible
roll.
fighter. Fighting.
You're gonna need a
Okay.
6 or better to hit.
I got a 6 and a
Oh,
4 and a 6 and a 3. So 6, 7, 8, 9.
okay. Well, that is a success. Why don't you go ahead and roll strength plus D4? Your strength die plus D4.
Die plus D4. Uh, 2 and 6 total.
Oh, okay,
6
great.
total.
You start kicking at this wolf, dire wolf, and it's almost it lets go. It's shaken. And it's going to be Jeremiah Jones. Up to you to follow up.
Do I have a
That's
clear
better
shot
be.
now?
Do you have a clear shot? Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Okay, then I'm gonna take it.
One shot. One kill.
I just rolled double ones.
I think you shoot Joe by accident.
Oops.
You motherfucker.
So why don't you go ahead and roll 2d6 plus 1. I believe that's a revolver damage.
Oh,
7 plus 1 is 8.
8. What's your toughness, Joe?
5.
It's 5. Okay. So Jeremiah, he kind of winks.
Jesus, Joe, get out the way!
And then bam, he shoots you right in the fat of your ass.
My ass! My ass!
You are shaken. Unless you want to soak.
Yeah, the Grim Servant of Death, are you by chance?
I think it's about time I took some wounds, so I'll
You were shot in the butt.
shot me in the ass. You son of a bitch.
All right, Ambrose, it's your turn. Clean up this mess.
You shouldn't have drunk so much.
You shouldn't have run in front of me, damn it!
Because I've at least got reach 2 with the
Yeah.
with the lower. I'm going to stand to a point where the wolf can't get me, but then I'll try and rip it in half.
Okay.
And I have 3 bennies left that hopefully say I
Just
can
kill
hit
this
with mine.
thing, please.
Yeah, go on. All right, that's 1 benny. Is a 5 a hit?
The 5 is not a hit.
Okay, 2nd benny. Oh, there's a 6 and a 2, 8.
8. An 8 isn't a hit. And it's already shaken, so all you gotta do is meet its threshold of toughness 6. And it's done.
Okay. And I've got my strength die of a massive D4 plus my D8 from the lower.
What could go wrong?
Oh, well, I rolled an 8 on the
Okay,
D8 and
we're
another
good.
one.
We're good.
So that's 8, 16 plus 5 is, my math is failing me, 21 plus 2, 23.
All right, so your Loa, right? It like strikes at this wolf and it absolutely dies of fright. Like internally its heart just explodes and it keels over. And as the dust settles, these 2 wolves lie dead at your feet. Bongiorno, he's bleeding out. Joe Clank, he's been shot in the butt.
You did that on purpose.
And as we continue to in this chaos, as Joe's yelling at Jeremiah, I think this is the greatest time to end this session.
Yeah. Me.
I'm sorry, Joe.
I'm not going to be able to sit down for days.
I can heal that. Just give me a few minutes.
He gave him his fingers back after all.
You're going to have to touch my ass, though, and I don't want that to.
I'm not looking forward to laying hands on anyone else's ass. No, just saying.
Our players included Matthew Sanderson, David Gasaway, Stefan Amshee, Max Meltzer, and myself, with Alex Sun as the game marshal. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the fine arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the Deadlands and the Savage World role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.